My name is Hannah Brooks. I'm 29 years old, and I work as an occupational therapist in Denver, Colorado. My job isn't glamorous. It's slow, patient work, helping people relearn the simplest things after life turns everything upside down. Most days, my victories are quiet. A hand that moves again. A step taken without fear. A life slowly rebuilt. 3 days before everything shifted, I was sitting beside an elderly woman, guiding her fingers as she tried to button her shirt on her own for the first time since her stroke. Her hands trembled, her breath uneven, but when she finally did it, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and whispered, "I feel human again." Moments like that remind me why I do what I do. That same evening, my phone rang. It was my mother, Linda Brooks. I stared at the screen for a second before answering, already knowing the tone I'd hear. "Your sister Chloe is bringing her fiancé this Sunday," she said quickly. "Be here by 3 o'clock. And Hannah, just don't make things awkward. No, how are you? No, I miss you. Just instructions." "I'll be there," I replied, even though a part of me didn't want to go. Sunday came, and I drove nearly 5 hours to my childhood home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The closer I got, the heavier I felt. Some places don't change, and neither do the roles you're forced to play in them. When I arrived, my mother barely looked at me before handing me grocery bags. "Start preparing the kitchen," she said. No hug. No warmth. Just expectation. Guests started arriving, family, friends, relatives, neighbors. The house filled with laughter, but I felt like background noise. Invisible, as always. Then came the introductions. My mother proudly spoke about Chloe, her promotions, her perfect life, her engagement. Everyone smiled, impressed. Then she gestured toward me casually. "And this is Hannah, she kind of helps people with therapy stuff." Kind of helps. The word settled heavy in my chest. Years of hard work, long nights, emotional exhaustion, reduced to something that sounded like a hobby. I forced a polite smile. I didn't correct her. I never did. Then the door opened. Chloe walked in with her fiancé, Daniel Hayes. Confident, well-dressed, successful-looking. He greeted everyone politely, shaking hands, smiling, until his eyes landed on me. He froze. Not confused, recognizing. "Hannah," he said, his voice filled with disbelief. The room quieted slightly, but my mother quickly brushed it off, telling everyone to sit for dinner. We all gathered around the table. I did what I always did, served food, poured drinks, stayed busy while everyone else relaxed. But Daniel kept glancing at me, like he was trying to piece something together. Finally, he spoke. "What exactly do you do, Hannah?" Before I could answer, my mother interrupted again. "She just helps people in therapy. Nothing too serious." This time, Daniel didn't smile. He put his fork down slowly and looked directly at her. "No, that's not true." The room went completely silent. He took a breath and continued, his voice calm but firm. 2 years ago, my father lost his ability to use his hands after a neurological condition. We were told he might never regain independence. But there was one therapist who didn't give up. Someone who sat with him every day, pushed him, believed in him, even when he wanted to quit. My heart started racing. I already knew. Then Daniel looked straight at me and said, "That therapist was Hannah. She gave my father his life back." Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. Different. For the first time, no one spoke over me. No one dismissed me. No one minimized what I did. And for the first time, I spoke. I calmly explained how I had spent years building a career that wasn't flashy but mattered deeply. How I had stayed quiet for too long. How I had shown up, helped, and stayed small just to keep the peace. But I was done doing that. My voice didn't shake. I didn't raise it. I just told the truth. And this time, everyone listened. After dinner, I walked into the storage room looking for something, and that's when I saw it, a box filled with my old achievements, certificates, awards, all packed away like they didn't matter. Like I didn't matter. I stood there for a moment, then picked up the box. Some things shouldn't be hidden. Before leaving, I told my mother something I had never said before. I won't keep coming back to a place where I have to shrink myself to fit in. Then I walked out. The drive back felt different. Lighter. Quieter, but stronger. A week later, Chloe called me. For the first time, she sounded sincere. She admitted she had always known what I did mattered, but never spoke up. It wasn't perfect. But it was a start. It took my mother longer. When she finally called, her voice wasn't controlling, it was uncertain. "What should I say when people ask about you?" she asked. I paused for a moment, then replied. "Just tell them the truth." Months later, I returned for another gathering. This time, when guests arrived, my mother introduced me differently. "This is my daughter, Hannah. She's an occupational therapist. She helps people rebuild their lives." No exaggeration. No prideful tone. Just truth. And this time, it was enough. Because I had already learned something important. Your worth doesn't come from being recognized. It comes from refusing to stay where you're not valued. And respect begins the moment you stop accepting less than you deserve. Like, share, subscribe if you liked my story.